I have my dinosaur book. You might remember me from earlier. Tonight I'd like to talk about puffins for a few minutes. Excuse me. And then afterwards we'll have story time. I can tell that some of you like this idea already. You like puffins, do you? Or would you rather hear about kangaroos? Some of you are being delightfully non-judgmental. And you do know that there are sexual differences between puffins and kangaroos, don't you? Now, I've noticed that someone over here obviously likes kangaroos more than they like puffins. And I find that to be rather disturbing, but I haven't decided yet whether or not this represents a trend. Did you happen to have a bad experience with a puffin that you would like to tell the group about? Okay. I think I'm just going to leave that right there for a moment while I talk a little bit about the dimetrodon, which on the evolutionary scale fits in neatly between the monometrodon and the trimetrodon. It is, of course, completely different than the quadrimetrodon or even the octometrodon. But then, of course, you already knew that, didn't you? This is why I enjoy talking to graduate students so much, because you're always just so on top of it. And you do know that the puffin invented the toaster in his spare time. Yes, I'd very much like to tell you about what the puffin does with the rest of his time. And as a matter of fact, I've been working on a dissertation called What the Puffin Does. But to be perfectly honest with you, I have absolutely no idea whatsoever. How many people in this room own a stapler? Okay, this might take a while. Could those people who raised their hands explain to those who didn't what a stapler is and how it works? You do know that there are sexual differences between a stapler and a giraffe. And if you'd like to stay after class, the giraffe will explain what those differences are, because the stapler hasn't learned how to talk yet, which is a tremendous inconvenience. I don't get paid for this, you know. And unfortunately, the giraffe hasn't shown up yet, because he or she apparently doesn't get paid for this either. And while we're waiting for the giraffe, we'll move on and have our story time, which means that once again we'll be looking in on little Alice Bunny, who this week is menacing the cat with the purple Plecostamus. For those of you who missed last week's story, the purple Plecostamus is a large stuffed fish who runs the government while the adults are out of the room, and ever since little Alice Bunny's sidekick, the Captain Rhino action figure, went off to Kandahar, Mother Bunny had been trying to find a suitable replacement. And even though she didn't like the purple Plecostamus, it was a major improvement over Captain Rhino and his missile launcher, or his flame-throwing tank, or his gold lame evening gown. There had also been something called Captain Rhino's Pterodactyl Cooking Show, which almost always led to a big mess in the kitchen, and featured rotating appearances by Trixie, the Las Vegas cocktail hostess, and Anthony, the professional neighborhood dog walker from next door. After several episodes, Captain Rhino decided that there needed to be a couch for the guests to sit on, and this involved a visit to the toy store, which of course didn't have the appropriate couch. At about this time, Captain Rhino unexpectedly got called away to Afghanistan, and in his absence, the couch was soon provided by Irene, the $37 an hour professional seamstress. The couch needed to be expansive enough not only to accommodate the guests, but also the newly acquired purple Plecostamus, who is now hosting the show in Captain Rhino's absence. On one of the recent shows called Cooking with Ketchup, the purple Plecostamus had acquired a series of large red blotches which couldn't be removed using conventional means. Fortunately, there was a dry cleaner specializing in the express cleaning of purple Plecostamuses for only $12.99. The cat now spent most of her time outdoors, but would come in occasionally, mainly to pee on the guest couch, and the purple Plecostamus, who apparently didn't really mind at all, and we'll be discussing the Freudian aspects of that in next week's lecture. Also, please mark your calendar, because next week the purple Plecostamus's guests are Dr. Joyce Brothers and Mike Nichols and Elaine May. Thank you for tuning in.